Breaking news.
The president wants to change the Constitution.
We will go to Erin and Jade for more news.
Just kidding.
Breaking news! The president wants to change the Constitution.
We will go to Erin and Jade for more news.
Now, without the Constitution, we won't have a representative democracy.
What's that?
A representative democracy is where the power is held in the people, and we elect officials to represent our ideas.
So, like a president?
Exactly.
What would happen without a representative democracy?
Wars would break out, and there would be no laws.
Don't forget that without a representative democracy, people wouldn't have a say in what we do.
Also, without it, we wouldn't have a say in who represents us.
People would break out in wars because they were so upset that they didn't get to choose the laws.
Isn't anyone else worried that the president might change the Constitution?
Yeah, everyone is. That's why chaos is in the streets.
So isn't there 3 divisions of government?
Yeah, the federal, state, and shared.
What's the federal system of government?
The federal system of government is the separation of powers between state, federal, and local governments.
Oh, you mean like if we didn't have it, some parts of the government would have more powers than others?
Yes, also some states would get more powers. The federal system of government may not be able to declare war, provide the army or navy, and make necessary laws that will carry out its powers.
The states couldn't issue driver's or marriage license, conduct elections, or establish local governments.
You guys can't forget about all the shared powers. The shared powers are borrowing money, collecting taxes, establishing courts, or making enforced laws. There would be no ability to tax, so the military would not be funded and the roads would crumble. Without this, the federal, state, and shared powers wouldn't be here. It's kind of like the separation of powers and checks and balances.
So what's the separation of powers and checks and balances?
The separation of powers is dividing the legislative, executive, and judicial branches into separate powers. The checks and balances are a system that allows each branch of government to amend or veto acts of another branch.
The legislative branch is basically Congress. Congress makes the laws and sends them to the president for a final check and approval. The president may veto the law, but the Congress can override his veto with a 2/3
The
vote.
executive branch is the president. The president carries out the laws and makes treaties with other nations. He's the only one who can veto the law the Congress makes.
The judicial branch is obviously the Supreme Court. They interpret the laws and decide some of the laws Congress and the president make are not right according to the Constitution.
Without the checks and balances and the separation of powers, some powers would be overruled and Congress couldn't make the laws and have the president veto or approve the laws. The judicial branch couldn't interpret the law.
Guys, the president has been overruled by Congress by a 2/3 vote. He cannot change the Constitution without the people's approval.
That means everyone's going to vote on it if he gets to change the Constitution.
Breaking news! People have spoken and the Constitution is not being changed by the president. Constitution will remain the same. The legislative branch is basically Congress. Congress sends... Oh!
The president has to change the Constitution.
People would break out in wars because they were so upset that we didn't get to choose...
There's a meeting!
I got that. Breaking news! Yeah.
The states couldn't issue driver's or
My hands
marriage
on my face.
license.
Without the Constitution, we will have a representative democracy.
What's that?
A representative democracy is where the power is held in the people, and we elect. Bird. It's a bird. Oh wait, hold on. Now, without the Constitution, we won't have a representative democracy.
What's that?
A representative democracy is where the power is held in the people, and we elect officials to represent our ideas.
Oh, so you mean like a president?
Exactly. Oh. Is anyone else worried that the president might change the Constitution?
Yeah, everyone is. That's why chaos is on the streets.
We skipped the part.
Yeah, I know.
Don't forget that without a representative democracy, people wouldn't have a say in what we do.
Also, without it, we...
The legislative branch is basically Congress. Congress makes the laws and sends them to the president for final check and approval. But people would break out in wars because they were so upset.
Mackenzie,
So what's the separation of checks and balances? Don't forget that without a representative democracy, people wouldn't have a say in what we do.
The legislative branch is basically Congress. Congress makes the laws and sends them to the president for his approval. Oh, I messed up.
Breaking news!
The president wants to change... I messed up, like, at the beginning.
The states couldn't issue driver's or marriage license, conduct elections, or establish local governments.
you guys can't forget about all the shit.